Hi everyone.
You're here now. The joy of business.
Gotta love technology.
I absolutely adore technology. Okay, so I've gone through the 4 questions with people, and now you're going to go through them with me again. And from a systems analytical point of view, she's a systems girl. She's phenomenal at setting up systems. Let's take us through it again. Number 1, Michelle, what's your recommendation? Joy Business Facilitator. I've done my first foundation. I've had 2 contacts. I've done my first intro. I've had 7 contacts. I've done my first call. I've had 8 contacts. How do you stay in contact with people who have taken a class or call with you?
So when you receive those emails from Access with the participants for your class, what you want to do is you want to be able to put them into a content relationship management system. So something like a mailing system such as MailChimp, and you can add those contacts into a list. You can actually break them up into different lists. So if you want to know exactly what contact has been in what class, then you can call one class Joy Business Taster, another class Access Taster, another class your foundation, and you can pull all those lists together later when you want to send an email out, or you can keep it separate if you just want to target, if you want to invite people back to something that moves on from your Access Taster to the next level.
Brilliant. Okay, answer me this. You call it a, this is where I'm really crap at naming systems. What did you call it? A contact?
Relationship management system. So it's called a CRM.
Contact Relationship Management System. Now, I'm going to tell you,
Yeah.
folks, I actually destroyed business with, I actually did destroy future relationships based on not having a contact relationship system. Why? Because if people have a foundation 4 years and I haven't done an interaction with them, okay, they're lost. They're out there somewhere. And we're always saying, I allow the universe to support me with, to support my growth, my awareness, and my joyful expression of life. Where am I now in that actual support of this person? Be it an email, be it how are you doing, be it a drop-in for people in foundation. And I'm only putting that in place now. And for me, it's like we learn from the people that go before us. This contact relationship management system, it is what it says on the tin. Are you willing to build a new communion with people? And let this be, for me, this is required. When we ask what's required for the creation of my future, this is something that there's absolutely no doubt in that whatsoever. True? Anything you'd like to add to that?
No, only in that it will create a lot of ease for your business.
Can I ask you a question? You know the way when you're bringing them into your MailChimp, you download your roster from the Access site. There's a download button, download your roster. You have your list of names. I'll bring them into Foundation, March, whatever. Then I have an overall foundation, and then I have a newsletter. Would you add them to all them lists, or is there something simpler that I'm aware of?
It depends on what system you're using. So if you're using MailChimp, if you need those names to be across all lists, then you actually need to add them to each separate list. And that's one thing with, so what you can do is highlight it, like you can click on it, and then you can go action, add to other list, and then you can pick the other list up. So you don't need to manually re-enter it again. If you have one contact across 3 different lists, MailChimp does count that as 3 contacts, and it's not going to be significant until you reach 2,000 people.
Exactly. So that's when you start paying the $39, I think, or $30 a month. Now, the reason I brought Michelle on is I actually paid people to input names into my list. And then I talked to Michelle and she told me about the action to add another list using the contacts from a list already. I didn't know that. Okay. So this is stuff that can actually cost you money that you don't actually, doesn't require to be spent. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big one. I would start with MailChimp. That would be me if I was starting off. You can always, now if you're going to progress something bigger, faster, throw out another couple of names that you'd use, Mish.
I actually highly recommend Agile CRM, and I can pop the link into that later for this. It allows you then to tag your data, and what I mean by tagging is I can have one contact, and then I can say this person attended Access Taster, this person attended an Access Bars, this person then moved on to Foundation, then and this other contact over here, they did bars, they did a Joy of Business taster, and then later on when I would like to segment my data, then I would do a search on all of those that did Joy of Business, bang, send an email out to them. And I don't need to break it down into separate lists, it's just those tags segment the data.
That's really using your information. That's really, really talking to question 4. How do you use what I've already created for my future? Okay. Number 2.
Yeah.
Guys, hang on in, because this is probably a lovely synopsis. It might take 20 minutes, but what you get out of this session. Number 2, okay, and we're gifting it because we really want to see certified facilitators have their point of view in the world. If brilliant people like me and Michelle are willing to have our voice in the world, then the old point of view of lack and scarcity and life not being ease, joy, and glory actually is the way our earth is going to remain. Whereas if we actually really are willing to be a voice in the world and say what we know and get our point of view out there, we got to have systems. And I'm only getting this now to support that, you know. Question 2, how do you follow up with them and invite them to more? I think you kind of covered that in question 1 a little bit.
We sort of did, but we sort of talked about keeping them in lists, but now you want to nurture them, you want to invite them to more. So a system such as MailChimp then allows you to send out a newsletter. You can tap in and say, hey, I've got this that's coming along, you can sign up here. You can just keep in contact because people like to know what you're doing. In my case, I've just started hosting 2 bar swaps a month in Melbourne. So this is something that we haven't had a community hub. And just from sending out the first newsletter and then also utilizing your Facebook groups as well and your page to invite more people to it, that people mightn't be on my mailing list, but they'll see it in the Access Melbourne page. And they're like, oh my gosh, I saw the last one. I couldn't make it, but I really want to go to the next one. Can you let me know about it? So you've already got them looking for more communication from you.
Amazing. Can I just add something to this, because this is so, I'm Irish, and the Irish point of view, Irish people don't like to be sold to. It's just a thing. Americans love to be sold to. When clients in America would contact me going, hey, you never told me about your recent energy pulls. You never told me you were doing a how to become money. I'm not joking you, Michelle. I was astounded. This was a barrier that I had to be willing to overcome. My point of view, people don't like to be sold to. Last night I sent out a mail to my list, and basically what I said in the mail is, hey, how you, like, you're talking to yourself 6 years ago. Like, Michelle is my friend. Hi girl, how are you doing? How's life going for you? Do you know that there's ease, joy, and glory in everything, and every problem that you've created is actually what you've designed to wake yourself up to more, you know? And then, like, genuinely have the energy of, I will tap into the energy of all the people on that list. And that's something for me that's quite easy to do. So really look at, like, what would you, if you met someone today who was willing for you to be the greatness that you are, what would you actually say to them? You know, and have no point of view whether people buy or not. That's not what this is about. This is about to nurture with your voice, with your communion with them, the ability to be present with no judgment. That is what this contact is about, is the voice of the universe in the world. That's really what it's about. Yeah.
And it's also sharing, like, what's up in the world as well. Like, they sort of hear whispers, but they need something to explain something. And even using your own personal vulnerability. Like, I sent out an email yesterday about the call that Rachel and I have coming up. And in it, I put where I've been the past week, what's changed for me. And the questions that I asked in that is allowing people to go, oh, Oh, I see where I'm doing that. Actually, I think I would like to find out some more information about this. And it may not be for now, and it may be for later, and I don't have a point of view about it.
No, exactly. So really look at that. Be where you are. Like for me, I sent out a mail saying, you know what? I'm only really getting 10-second increments. I'm not kidding you, folks. After 6 years of access, I woke up this morning and I only heard Gary for the first time saying 10-second increments is creating your living. Like I wasn't living in all aspects of my life. I had a structured life, you know, that I was still tearing apart to allow something new in. But when I got this morning, I got it from a different energy. So, like, vulnerability is the ability to be present. Vulnerability is not being pathetic or, oh, can I ask for your help? No, vulnerability is the energy, the ability to be present with everything with no point of view. And people love that. Okay. So, number.
And can I just jump in there as well? So another like beautiful thing about using something like a system such as MailChimp is if you've got customers in all different countries, which most of us have if you're doing online calls, then you can write your newsletter in English and the system will translate it. So they'll open it up in their, if they, let's say they're using Google, they'll open up in Google and let's say their native language is French, and it will translate the message for them. Now it's not going to be perfect, and they can switch it and go back and see the original message if they understand English, but it also allows them, what was that?
What systems do that? Translate.
I know, I know Gmail does it, and I'm assuming any other system does because your IP, like your IP address for your computer is Ireland and mine's Australia. So, and like when you went to Italy in Rome for certified facilitators, were you, because you were suddenly in Italy, did your pages in Google, they were suddenly in Italian?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that automatic that it's changing it across.
Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to recap. Number one, build a relationship for the future with these people. Number two, nurture them. Have the systems to nurture them. Okay. We talked about MailChimp. We talked about the other one, Agile. Okay. Number three, this is a big one. I'm going to say I've only done it recently. Yes, we have our facilitating schedule. I have double booked things this year and it's not been fun for me at all. What's your system for adding and recording future workshops and calls? I get off the phone from Michelle. We've put in a date for tomorrow. We're on at 11. Hey, if you want to join us tomorrow, we're delving in more of this, okay? 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, Irish time. What's the time? 12 Central
12 CET and 8 p.m.
Okay.
Australian Standard.
Okay, here's the biggie. Have you a spreadsheet that when you open it, that you can see where I am in June, where I am in July, where I am in August, where I am in September, where I am in October, where I am in November, where I am December? No, I'm going to set a challenge for you. Open up your computer today and put in one workshop, just one workshop today, and see what can you add to that. If you're a CF and you've gone and spent your money that you worked for, folks, and you might have received it with total ease, joy and glory, go out and actually, you've now put this money into a project. Are you willing to just like not nurture it? Are you willing to care for your time and energy that you put into facilitators and actually get you into the world? So Michelle, what would you say to number three?
So, Rachel, talk about what's happened in the month of July for you without having a schedule.
Okay, I have still a few points of views around this. So basically, January this year to May was chock-a-blocka, and June was an access month in that I was doing classes, okay? And I had classes in the Netherlands. I took my eye off of July. Not sure how I did it, only on consciousness, really. No point of view about that. When I opened it up and I was like, fuck, I have nothing in for July. Now, if anyone knows me, Michelle knows me really well, I get super, super cranky when I'm not facilitating. I get bored. I'm not the type of person to be sitting down doing nothing. In fact, I sleep more. So here am I, coming back, open up, see that I have classes in the end of June, classes next weekend, and then I'm like, I have nothing booked in. Nothing booked in for July. Now, I could have cried and went into the problem, which is what tomorrow's call is all about, or no more problems, welcome to a world of true possibilities. So where I went in that 10 seconds was, this is changing. I am not having that again occurring in my life. My future is being cared for, and that's when I went on to that's when I contacted Michelle and was like, this is not being created again out here. Okay. So that's what gets created if you're not willing to have your voice in the world and willing to plan, land, and expand. For you to land and expand, you do require a doc where you record your classes and you plan for your future. Now, if you'd have told me plan 3 years ago, I would have told you, talk to us about it. Talk to us about planning.
I would suggest like getting into Excel, or getting into Google spreadsheets. Like, you want to be able to open something that you can look at a glance. And Rachel showed me an example that it was in rows, but you have to scroll across the page. And I was like, hang on a second, I've got something that it's in columns. So you put down the side, you can say, okay, the class date, the class name, the location. So you want the dates, you want the location, has the venue been booked. Then you go into your, have I created social media squares, banner images, and then you can move in, okay, what's the link to the Access class listing? What's the link to my website listing if you have a website? For us, we've got Joy of Business. So I'm like, what's the Joy of Business class listing? So I've got, what's my Zoom link listing? What's my time and date link listing? And so I've got all of these down the left-hand side. And then column B, I'll go, okay, this class is a Joy of Business taster. It's on this date. And then as I create each individual thing, PayPal links, things like that, I'm like, in that column, okay, here's the class link for Access, here's the time and date link, here's the Zoom link. So I can basically run my eye down that column and go, okay, now I'm missing graphics for that class. And then you can, and as you build onto it, so then in the column C would be the next class. And then you can build out your spreadsheet that way. And then when you are finished, like that class is passed, rather than keep it in a spreadsheet and needing to scroll through it, copy that column, paste it into another sheet called past classes, just paste it as is, and then go back into the current class one, delete that, and you've always got the most current class at your fingertips.
Yeah.
And another thing that you could do, let's say you can only do classes on weekends, or you only have one night a week that you could do something. Go in and put those dates in, even if you don't have something for it, and then look at the energy of what class wants to be where, and go, okay, taster, where would you like to be? And just fill it in and build out your classes that way.
Okay, now the question that I'm going to throw in around this is that, are you actually preparing to fail? Because if, guys, you might say, I don't like spreadsheets, blah, 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 blah. Newsflash, someone asked me to create a Facebook page for their business yesterday. It's a restaurant here in our local town. I went home, went to set up her business. She gave me the incorrect password, no problem, incorrect email, incorrect blah, blah, blah. So I contact her going, hey, you know what, you gave me the wrong email, you gave me da. She sends back, oh, here's the one I think it is. I leave this to your attention, into your capable hands. It's taken me a half an hour to send this email. I've done enough for today. It's her restaurant, not mine, you know. It's her restaurant, not mine. If that's what I'm not willing to, I'm like, I'm done now. I'm like, if you're not willing to take a half an hour to put into your business, why the hell would I? You know what I mean? So I sent back, look, send me the details. I require details to sign in. Can't go any further without this. Folks,
Yeah.
that you got to prepare. Did I have resistance to it? Yes. And then I became aware that I was refusing my success. And Gary Douglas says it. He said it in Facilitators. Are you actually destroying your business while trying to create it? If you don't get your future in place, Michelle, what's the line that you gave me again about
It is if you don't have your if you don't have your future planned or your life planned, and you leave it up to someone else, guess what they have planned for you? Not much.
Totally. So just open up some type of spreadsheet, get someone to help you. Simple, easy peasy. Number 4, I'm going to bring this fast.
And I'm just going to say that, like, if you have some resistance to it to start with, like, Excel's easy. Google spreadsheets is exactly the same. You just put the cursor in the cell and use the arrow keys and skip across to the next one, up or down. That's it. Type in a few words, up or down. And the way that you become, the more you use it and become familiar with it, the easier it becomes. And I really want to say that if you really want to expand your business and move on to a global level, you need to have a system in place like this, because I can turn around and go fill in these things, or I can get my team to do it and go, okay, great. Now I've filled in all the links here. Can you please go and set all these up on all these across various sites? And then my assistant can jump in. She has all the information she needs. As she begins listing classes, she can put those in, and there's no one holding up the process. And then she's adding that, so I have that.
She just said something brilliant. There is no person holding up the process. There is no system holding up the process. There is no point of view about stopping in there. The process is moving. The creation of the business is moving all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, before some people who aren't into business are going to be like, they're going to be shut up, ye freaks. Number 4, how do you use what you've already created for the future? Can I just say something on this? I did a class 4 years ago called the lack scarcity. I've forgotten the 4 years that Access 4 years ago and Access now. Different story, folks. I actually went back and did that call again, and I had, I think it was 90 people were on the call. It was a $10 call. I was like, got the energy, push this up again. So there's something that if I had shelved and I didn't even keep the data from it, I would be doing that again. Okay? And I'm not saying to begrudge, but what I am saying is use what you already have to your advantage. The people that you have, the contacts you have. Michelle, talk to me.
So you can also use systems to your advantage. Like, so I use Canva, whereas Rachel, she uses WordSwag. That's really easy for her. She tends to work on the fly on her phone, whereas I tend to work on the fly on a computer.
No, I'm just going to say it straight out. For me, Canva takes way too much time. All the dragging and pulling, maybe you've worked it out. I see other people do it a lot faster.
Yeah.
I take like 40 minutes to create 30 minutes. I'm just not a Canva girl, you know.
So what I do with Canva is I create an image. So let's say it's a social media square.
Yeah.
Then from there, I do my Access classes and I color code them with the teal, and then I put on all the details, and then I just copy that and then turn the teal into red. So that's my joy of business. It's got my photo on it. All I have to do is switch out the photo in the background, change the date, and then and if it was a banner image, then I would add a quote. But if it's a social, I don't. And that's it. It's done. Download it straight away.
There you go. So, how to use what you've already created for your future creation. Michelle has just talked about Canva. I have talked about my favorite, which is WordSwag. I think there, how to use what you've already created. Start building folders. Start having folders of graphics of your money calls. I see Fiona Cutts is on here. She's done a right voice in Manchester. She's got someone to create a beautiful banner. I've spent money on banners. Now, how does she use that again? Just change the date, use the photographs, but you've got to be able to access stuff really, really fast. Now, guys,
And you want to set up, and if you have a team, and especially if you've got promoters, you want to be using something like Google Drive where you share the drive to everyone. They can jump straight in and grab the graphics out. Sometimes I necessarily don't like putting graphics in threads because someone can grab the wrong one, they're outdated. Whereas if you always point them and go, you have to go here and get the resources, they'll always get the most up to date. Always.
Totally, totally. I have wasted, I'm going to say straight up, a lot of time in that process of not having graphics and folders, particularly for people that were really willing to create classes. For me, no matter what class it is, it requires graphics. Guys, graphics speak. A photograph tells 1,000 words, you know. Allow photographs, allow videos to be your voice in the world, to be your invitation. So,
and it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to capture the energy of the class.
No, I have created like very basic graphics and had very successful calls. So, you know, don't use the perfection, use the energy of you. One thing I would say is when you are inviting people, be enthusiastic. There's an energy, and if you're not, call a friend. Michelle is my backup girl. Catherine Mack, another one who has my back. I'm talking about people that I'm not talking about people that are out there. I'm talking about people that I can actually talk to about the creation of my business. Same with Graham Crosskill. Guys, you know what? You're here. Give it a shot. At least all we'd ever want for you is a business that creates everything that you desire. That's what Gary says. Business is the element where you receive everything you desire. The same for Simone Molasses. I've seen Access put in every type of support system for us to grow, you know. So go play. Anything you'd like to finish with?
And I would say, like, don't be afraid to reach out to. If you go, oh my gosh, Rachel's got her shit together. She's, you know, she really knows systems. Then you can like reach out and go, Rachel, how did you do that? And Rachel can go, oh my god, I didn't do this until I had a conversation with Michelle, and she suggested this, this, and this. Like everyone is willing to give you information. You just need to not need, but you have to ask for it.
Reach for it. Reach for it.
Reach for it. I love that. Yeah.
Reach for it. So I sincerely hope, and apologies for the delay at the start. Personally, I think it was worth it. Have a business of ease, joy, and glory. We adore you. Joy Business.
We have a call tomorrow night.
Joy Business Facilitators 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th. Is it 4 days or 5 days? Can't remember. For me, it changed my life.
4 days.
4 days. And we have a call tomorrow night, Australian time, Irish time 11, European time 12. Joy of business. You've got to, what would it, if you're going to make money, if you're going to have your voice in the world, your price that you charge is a gratuity for who you be. Have you set up the systems that allows the future of your business, that allows you to expand? I allow the abundant universe to provide me with a multiplicity of possibilities. These are the multiplicities of possibilities. Multiplicity of possibilities to support my growth, my awareness, and my joyful expression of life. I love you, just so you know.
Thanks,